Hey guys, I'm Seth Perkins, one of the bearded butchers here at White Feather Meats in Creston, Ohio. You're probably wondering what's hanging behind me. What these are 3 halves of pork. And what we did is we removed all of the bones out of the inside of this carcass. Completely boneless, we rolled it and tied it, and inside we used our original Bearded Butcher Blend seasoning to season it. So today, I'm gonna show you how to remove all of these bones off of this half of a pig, leaving it all intact so you can roll it, tie it, season it. And what these are for, our local FFA is having a donation night, pulled pork sandwiches. So we're gonna go ahead and smoke these for them. And just for the easeability of pulling this pork, we're gonna make it boneless, and then we're gonna smoke it so we don't have to deal with the bones at a later date. So check it out. So 1 bottle of our seasoning isn't gonna do it when you're seasoning an entire half a pig. So for your convenience, we have a 5-pound bucket available on our website, whatever flavor you want, original, Chipotle, Cajun, Hot, Hollywood, and soon to be Bearded Butcher Black. There it is on our website. Whatever you don't use, you can save for everything else. Today, we're gonna be using the Razormax from Outdoor Edge. If you watched our elk processing video that we did a while back, you would see that we did that using this knife. We really liked it. So today, we're gonna go ahead and use the Outdoor Edge Razormax. These are available, outdooredge.com. Check them out. The cool thing about this is it has a changeable blade. So if you're in the field, you're in the shop, wherever you are, and your knife blade gets dull, simply pop a new blade on it, and you're back in business. You can save the old blade. You don't have to discard it. You can sharpen, use it for later use. So let's just go ahead and get started. I like to start right up here by the top of this inner loin, working my way down along the vertebrae. Now normally what I would do is I would pull this inner loin out and just completely remove it. But today, since we're gonna make this all boneless, we're gonna leave it right there inside this pig. So that's as far as I'm gonna go with that inner loin. Moving my way up along the front of these rib bones, I just wanna find those little soft pieces of cartilage right there with those bones. Now I wanna cut through that soft piece of cartilage without cutting all the way through that fresh side on the other side of this pig. All the way up to the top. Now any of these bones that I pull off of here that have meat on them, we'll trim that off and we'll put that into sausage grindings. So just keep that in mind. Just gonna slowly work our way up along this rib, all the way up to the neck. Now what I want to do is I want to cut down in between each of these bones. Take the tip of your knife, follow that rib bone all the way down, but just remember, don't cut all the way through the back of this fresh side on this pig, because if you do, then what you're going to do is you're going to cut right through that belly. So you want to just use the tip of your knife, about that much or so, scoring along each of these ribs. So now I just want to use my blade to come down through each of these bones, sort of loosening them up. Just follow each one. So here again, as a butcher, it's very important to learn and understand and educate yourself on the anatomy of an animal. Because once you learn where the bones are located, all the different muscle structures, it's just a lot easier to navigate your way through an animal carcass. Once you get good at it, muscle memory will take over and you can be pretty speedy about this. Now, One thing you do have to understand is this isn't something that I do, you know, daily or even weekly. This would be something that I would just do, I don't know, a couple times a year or so. I have to sort of refresh my memory a little bit each time I do it. Being careful that you don't cut yourself. Take your time. For sake of video, I'm trying to go fairly quick. Now that I have all those bones removed, and like I said, we'll go back through and we'll clean those up, get some grindings for sausage off of those. My rib cage is loosened up. Now, I'm going to start down here at the H bone, working my way through the ball joint on this ham. So right where this H bone meets the base of that femur, you can see there's a ball joint right there. It can be a little bit of a challenge getting through that ball joint. Just use the tip of your blade, navigating your way around that H bone. Up to the back of this vertebrae. So then, at this point, could even sort of break that bone off and just get it out of the way. Now, I want to take my knife and put it right under the back of the bones on the vertebrae, pulling it all the way up to the neck, and then slowly working this bone off of the meat. So now you can see that I loosened all those bones up. Just continue to work my way. So it's a little bit harder to keep the bones, you know, super clean when you do that, but they're pretty clean, and we'll continue to clean them a little bit more. All right, so there's the rib cage, the vertebrae, everything's been removed. Now it's time to get the femur bone out, and then we'll do the shoulder bone. All right, so we want to remove the bone out of this shank, this hind shank. Using the tip of your knife to stay nice and close to that bone. And then I'll remove the femur out of this ham. Once you get that meat off, you can find this knuckle and take that shank bone right out of there. Now we're going to go ahead and we're just going to tunnel bone this femur out, leaving this ham all intact. So find the end of that femur, that knuckle, working your way with your blade around that bone, reaching inside because you can feel the bone with the tip of your blade. Just like that. So once we get that side done, we're going to go over to this side and start here. All right, so now we've moved to the opposite side of the ham. Using your knife, you want to go around this ball joint, reaching up inside the ham just to loosen that bone. Once you feel like you have the bone loosened up, you can pull that femur out. Now it's time to do the shoulder. So we're going to remove the shank bone off the foreshank here, and then we will remove the blade bone out of this, leaving all of the meat intact. So once I get down to this point, I can go ahead and remove a portion of that shank off. Now we want to come in, remove this bone. You want to work your way around this bone all the way up to the front of that shoulder blade. And there's another ball joint right there. Just go ahead and cut through that ball joint, removing that bone. Now what I can do is I can get on the top of this blade. Probably the most challenging part on deboning this half is removing this shoulder blade out of here. So you want to just get it cut open on the top and on both sides. Like that, then you can just pull it out, trying to keep the bone as clean as possible. So now that we've removed the shoulder blade, what we have here is an entire half a pig, not a single bone in it. Let's move it over to our seasoning table. We're gonna season it, we're gonna roll it, and we're gonna tie it. So check it out. All right, so now it's time to season it with our original Bearded Butcher Blend seasoning. And to do that, I have a tub here with a scoop. I'm just gonna start above the pig, working my way down through, making sure that I have the entire area covered real nice. You can't really over season it on something like this just because there's so much volume here to cover, so you don't have to really worry about using too much seasoning. And by the time we go to pull this and we shred it, the seasoning will be dispersed nicely throughout the entire pig or the entire half. So now that we have all that beautiful seasoning on there, we can just take the belly, roll the belly up over that loin like you would a porchetta, folding your shoulder in. Once you get it to about this point right here, we're going to start tying. All right, so I have a 24 ply butcher twine that I'm gonna roll and tie this pig with. So I wanna get started just by putting my string underneath the side like this. And I'm gonna start down here on this shoulder just a little bit, and that'll keep the half nice and uniform throughout the process, making my knot here. And if you notice, I actually put a cotton glove on underneath my latex glove because pulling on this string real hard will nearly cut through the palm of your hand. So get a nice tight knot on there, and then we'll move down on this side of it, reaching underneath, grab my string. And if you tie this in such a way, it'll stay uniform the whole way down through here. It'll make a real nice, even roll. And the idea here by doing this is that when we put this on our smoker, it's gonna be all nice and uniform, so everything cooks evenly, and it'll all be finished at the same time without pieces, you know, some pieces being undercooked and some being overcooked. Be a real nice, even cook and temperature throughout. Keeping my strings nice and tight. You can see how I started down here, now I went this way, and now I'm working my way back. You can see how that's keeping that shoulder nice and uniform. Put one more string down here. And if you watch real close how I do these knots, simply make my first tie, pulling it through, but not pulling it tight, so that when I pull it down, it tightens itself on that knot, and then it'll stay there if you keep some pressure on it, and you can simply knot it again and then cut it. And that'll hold, that won't come off. So now we're just going to continue to work our way down this pig. And that's how you make a half a pig, completely boneless, season it, roll it and tie it to fit it in your smoker. So if you're, just keep in mind if you're doing maybe more than one pig and need some extra room, pretty cool way that we think to prepare your pork for whatever type of smoke you're using, whether it's a rotisserie or homemade offset smoker or whatever it might be. And also I mentioned in this video that we were coming out with a new black seasoning. So here's our new black seasoning. This is a blend of coffee and molasses. Be sure to check it out. It's on our website. And also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's tons more videos to come. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm Seth Perkins at White Feather Meats, one of the bearded butchers. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.